At least 31 people are dead and over 120 are wounded after Russia launched one of its largest attacks on Ukraine Friday since its invasion last year, using nearly every type of weapon in its arsenal, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said, after Ukraine's prime minister pleaded with its allies for funding being held up by disagreements in the US and among EU members. NATO member Poland, a neighbor to Ukraine, said Friday an unidentified aerial object was spotted in its airspace amid the Russian attack on Ukraine. General Maciej Klisz, operational commander of Polish armed forces, said the object was likely a missile, and it spent less than 3 minutes in Polish airspace before going back to Ukraine, Reuters reported. Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said in a letter this month to the multi-agency donor coordination platform for Ukraine, a platform established by G7 leaders last December to coordinate support for Ukraine's financing needs, the country is experiencing exceptionally high uncertainty over its budget for 2024, Bloomberg reported. To uphold macroeconomic stability, it is imperative that we receive sufficient, prompt, and predictable external financing. Beginning January 2024, Shmyhal said in the letter seen by Bloomberg. Last week, Ukraine's finance ministry said the country needs $37.3 billion in aid next year for immediate budget needs, including keeping the government running. On Wednesday, the U.S. announced its final security assistance package of the year of $250 million in weapons and medical equipment to Ukraine, warning that inaction from Congress could jeopardize further assistance to the country. Funding for Ukraine is being held up by far-right Republicans who are demanding Ukraine assistance be tied to additional border security measures. Earlier this month, the White House said in a letter to congressional leaders the U.S. is out of money, and nearly out of time, to support Ukraine, which would risk its gains and Russia's advance. Earlier this week, the EU was reportedly preparing a backup plan to provide about $22 billion for Ukraine, using a debt structure to sidestep Hungary's objections to provide further aid to Ukraine, according to the Financial Times. The EU failed to agree on a 4-year aid package worth $54 billion for Ukraine earlier this month, after it was vetoed by Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. However, the bloc opened accession negotiations with Ukraine, after the country has aspired for membership for years, the Associated Press reported. U.S. running out of funding for Ukraine, White House says, Forbes.